But on the one where he didn't get it on third down, he takes a hell of a pop in the head, no doubt. And the stats after that, 2 for 6 with 2 picks. So do with that whatever you want.
I'll tell you what.
Well, I mean, what are you saying?
Yeah.
I'm
not going there, Willard.
I'll say it.
I'm not saying anything.
No, I mean, you threw it out there, so
I'll say it. If he was concussed,
Willard would never do that.
I'm going to do my Steiny.
I'll do it.
I'm going to
throw it out there.
So I'm going to do you like you did Steiny yesterday. What are you saying?
I'm going to throw it out there, and then I'm going to tell everyone I'm having a great year after you three are done telling me.
I love it.
Oh.
Okay, so don't criticize Steiny.
Hey, I got a question.
Now, Dibley takes a shot at me, I'm gone.
No.
Because now that's you and Willard.
I'm taking a shot at him because he took a shot at you yesterday.
He led me to water. I had to take a drink.
Did he finish the game?
Drink,
no,
you pushed it away. Say what you're saying.
I personally put no stock into it at all. Because he was not experiencing any symptoms yet whatsoever.
That's why.
So I am,
as far as we know, until the plane.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I will not blame 2 for 6 with 2 picks.
And he had 2 picks against.
Okay, good. Thank you for saying that.
I won't either, but it's possible, right?
Well, I mean, I certainly can't argue with someone who does want to put stock in that. Exactly. Yeah, these are the physical nature of what we do with regard to talking about athletes always makes me to a degree uncomfortable because we're supposedly putting ourselves in those situations,
no doubt,
and thinking we know what's going on there. So I have no idea if it affected him, but if he didn't experience any symptoms yet, and he did have a couple good throws after that. So I don't know, but I don't think you can automatically A to B it.
No, and I do know that the news coming out today and his symptoms first surfaced on Monday, so now we're at Wednesday, so now he could at least be on step 2 of 5, but if step 3 is tomorrow and step 4 is Friday and step 5 is Saturday, and if you get cleared on Saturday, he could play on Sunday. However, if you're the Niners in this day and age of concussion protocol and sensitivity and this market and all the rest of it, do you want to go ahead and, quote, rush him back? Even if he gets cleared Saturday, let's say he gets cleared at this time on Saturday, 2:30 or 2 o'clock, and the game is 22 hours away. I mean, how are the optics?
I'm playing him.
Well, Schefter just tweeted that he most likely will not. He'll be out.
Okay, so
most likely,
no player this year has gotten into the concussion protocol and then played that weekend. Right. Yeah. And this is a short week.
No doubt.
So if he were to play, it's the fastest healing of a concussion
since Pickett
all year.
Yeah. Last year.
There's that, and then factor in the bye is looming there, and you supposedly love Sam Darnold for this kind of a situation,
amazing, man.
So I just like it's not for me. It's less about optics. It's more about math. I just don't think there's the time, and Sam Darnold is probably going to play this football game.
Wow.
Yeah, I set an over-under for all of you at the start of the year on quarterbacks to start for the Niners at 1.5.
I thought that was Steiny. It was Dibs. Go ahead, baby.
I mean, do we all look alike, Guru?
No, wow.
That's a shot. I'll take a 1 happily. But, and I think we all took the over on 1.5. And then I set the over-under at 2.5. And I think you all took the under. On 2.5. Yeah. But it looks like the over 1.5 might be cashing here in week 8.
I will tell you, your hypothetical, if Brock Purdy were cleared Saturday, I would still use him as QB2. I'd use him as QB2 over Brandon Allen.
Yeah, not me.
I would.
I'd use him as quarterback.
And that still would be bad optics, wouldn't it?
I don't think so. If you're cleared, you're cleared.
No, but if you're cleared, then you play.
Why not start? Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you can make that case.
Yeah.
But this was a Monday night game.
I'll back up. I don't think he's going to be cleared.
Okay. I agree. Well, I don't think he's going to play.
I'm right with you.
He's not going to be cleared. So this is probably going to be Sam Darnold with Brandon Allen as the active QB2, and I don't even know who will be the emergency.
What if
QB3.
he got in? Right. Like if I'm Brandon,
I'll tell you who it's not. McCaffrey. Otherwise, who would have seen him last year in the NFC Championship? Wasn't he their emergency guy, supposedly?
I think he did run
he
a
did
couple
take
plays.
a snap.
He did,
a couple snaps out
no
there.
doubt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's Tom Tupa when you need him?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would they sign someone to have as the inactive yet emergency QB3?
Don't they have somebody on their practice squad who's a QB?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Don't know.
Maybe that's Brandon Allen who's been playing that role. But it's going to be interesting. I don't think that he gets cleared either, but I do know based on the time of the protocol that he could be by late Saturday, but I do think that the optics of it are not great in terms of, rushing him out there.
Well, Shanahan opened the door already, saying that Brock Purdy essentially did not practice prior to the Thursday game in Seattle last year and then played
with
well.
The rib.
So
right,
he
with the rib.
said that they're holding out hope. So he did not eliminate him from playing.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but it would see. If Schefter's already saying unlikely,
that was.
I will tell you, I have texted with a couple of the world's sports doctors, and they're going to put the word very in front of unlikely.
Okay.
Very unlikely that Brock Purdy will play.
Steiny threw this out. Let me hear what you and Dibs think. And it's not a bad thing, but it's a right on the table, brought to you by Atco. What portion of Niner fans want to see Sam play? Not that they're happy this happened, but they want to see. Let me see quarterback 2, Dibs.
Maybe
Mr. USC.
To me, it's more of a silver lining.
With the stronger arm.
15%.
Who's got a stronger arm?
I think a section of and I'm not going to say a section of the people. A section of all of us individually has a curiosity factor.
And that's okay. That's okay.
It's just being a human being. There's drama. And so there's a curiosity factor to it. If you're truly just someone who's like, I want the Niners to win, well, then why would you do that? Have we checked the number? Did the number move with this announcement?
It was still
somebody say
2.5 as I saw that.
5.5.
No, 5.5 to 3.5. The chat, YouTube chat is.
I'll check. I'll check where we're at because I think that Vegas is going to move on under the idea that Purdy will not play. Went from 5.5 to 3.5.
Wow.
So
only 2 points for Brock.
2 points. But if you're a Niner fan, in theory, a win just became less likely. So why would you want that? Mm-hmm. But I don't come down anyone's road because anybody who has any sort of either fascination with Sam or exactly how this is going to go for Brock. Poor dude's going to sit there on the sideline with a concussion, and an entire narrative will get built about him without even playing.
Because this is the limousine of offense,
If
right?
Sam plays well, it's going to be, Brock is a big pile of nothing.
Wow.
If Sam plays poorly, it will make Brock look like a star.
Well, Brock's got some skins on the wall now. It ain't been just
Not
2 or
for
3
everybody.
games. Yeah.
You should see what my timeline looks like after 2 losses. And there's anger behind it. Like, you idiot for thinking that, you jerk loser, you cupcake. It's like, wow.
Let it out.
Why is it an angry thing? I like the guy. I don't know why that's a controversial take.
Darnold?
No, Purdy.
Oh.
People are lined up to.
But how long have they been waiting for? They've been waiting for a while.
For a season and a half.
Here's the way I look at it with Darnold, especially, is there do seem to be a group of people that think he could be fine here. And Kyle Shanahan has done wonders with certain quarterbacks. Nobody wants Brock Purdy to get hurt, obviously. But he got concussed. So now I do want to see Sam Darnold because they might need him to win some playoff games or games down the stretch. So I want to see if they look dramatically different, like a lot of teams, when they go to their backup quarterback, because I have an inkling that they're not going to look completely different. In fact, I think they're going to look fine.
Here's the question. You're comparing what we see this weekend to what?
Purdy over the last year.
Okay, because there's the first 5 games, then there's the next 2 games. You know what I mean? So are they going to look, quote unquote, different? And I'm like, different from what?
Well, different from the way Purdy's looked before last game.
That's rational take, though. You're being rational. A large portion of
appreciate
it. He had his stinkers at the worst time, Willard. No doubt about it.
Right.
People are going to forget the good.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah. So,
but even a Purdy's bad game. If Darnold has a bad game, you'll be able to compare bad games, and I'll bet you Purdy's is a better bad game. That's just but that's what we got to find out.
Well, Darnold can have a worse game and they could still win.
Correct.
And it's, suddenly it's a, quote, better game because you win the football game. And that's ultimately what this comes down to.
Yeah.
We just asked JD, is Trent going to be out there? We know, if it's Darnold, he won't have the luxury of hiking the ball, throwing it behind the line of scrimmage, and watching Debo do his thing. So,
well, that's the other thing. The whole idea behind Sam Darnold being in the quote-unquote perfect spot is because of all of these weapons that he has at his disposal, and he will be coming in a situation where he doesn't. Yeah. He may not have his left tackle. He will not have one of his top two receivers.
McCaffrey not 100.
No, but he's no Debo. And if there's no Trent Williams, are you now judging Darnold in this Shanahan system the same way that you normally would have? I also happen to think that this is going to be, like my guess, this is going to be a week for the defense. The defense is hearing,
bounce back.
The defense is hearing a whole lot of crap. And so they're coming back home. And what people don't really realize is that the Bengals are broken. They have had one good offensive output so far this year, and it came against the Arizona Cardinals, a weak defense, and Jamar Chase went absolutely bananas. But it's a porous offensive line. Burrow has still not looked like Burrow. And so I think we're set up for the defense to come out and play really, really well.
You would think, Mark.
Maybe set Darnold up with a short field a time or two. And, you know, I still think the 49ers will win this game, but I don't think it's going to be like, woo, the offense is suddenly on fire and it's 37-10. So it's going to leave us with further questions.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
We rightfully spent most of the show up into this breaking news on the Warriors.
Yeah.
Both you were in the house.
Sure.
Willard, I can put you in my camp. Tell me if you want out. We weren't too fond of this Chris Paul move. I thought they were a bit methodical offensively. They didn't run. I'm not blaming Chris. He still got something left. He was playing tenacious defense for me, but the Andrew Wiggins thing is my biggest takeaway, man. And I just want to know, I know it's one game, Dibs, is something behind the scenes, piggybacking off last year's why he looked like he didn't want to be out there. Kerr's comments about it's going to fluctuate. I thought that was a shot at him. So can you just share with us, you guys, your thoughts of what you saw?
I would love to. Andrew Wiggins is who we thought he was. He had a 4 or 6 week spurt where he was the player that everyone thought that he should be when he was taken number 1 overall back in 2000. And that 4-week spurt when he won a championship with the Warriors, that fulfilled what we all thought that he should be.
Because the radio station went away. K-Wig.
It went away.
Okay.
It only went away because of peer pressure and because my partner doesn't like the bit.
Okay.
The bit lives because that player, is who we thought he was. That player is a weak side non-factor. That player is a guy who should get 8 rebounds a game but doesn't. That player could roll out of bed and get you 24 a night but doesn't. That player is who we thought he was, and that player is the player that Minnesota gave up on. And I know Minnesota is a laughingstock in terms of front offices, but they gave up on him, and the Warriors got 4 to 6 weeks of the good wig, but the rest of his career, he's been that guy. He is 6
Well, they're not going to get to their goals if he continues to be that guy.
Exactly. But he's going to be that guy. He is that guy.
Well, what do you mean by that fully?
You're asking him to be somebody that he's not.
Well,
he's shown you before.
But last night is not an accurate picture of who he is either. I think what Andrew Wiggins is.
Did he play last night?
Well, that's the thing. He's frustrating. It doesn't mean he's not good.
I was there last night, and I can't remember one thing that he did.
I can.
He got one defensive rebound.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing hard on defense. And we know that Andrew Wiggins has the characteristic with him that stays and plays every time, wherever he's been, is that when he has a good game, his teammates run to microphones to go, that's the guy we want. That's the guy that we tell him to be all the time. And we know that that's in there. And it is in there, but he's a frustrating player because he does lack consistency. It doesn't mean he's not good. It doesn't mean that he's not a huge key to the season.
There's no doubt.
We damn well know that there's a ring on their finger from 2 years ago, and they don't have it without him. Like, that's a fact. And for me, that means that he's emblazoned in Warrior history. This guy's a really good player, but he's always going to be frustrating. But I'm also not going to take last night and start making sweeping generalizations about who the Warriors are going to be this year, because it's one basketball game. There were a bunch of guys who I thought were largely disappointing. Wiggins on defense, Kuminga on offense. Like, that was not the opening that we wanted from Jonathan Kuminga. I thought Chris Paul was a mixed bag.
Oh, a six from deep.
Well,
that's too many for me.
I thought he brought the adulthood everybody wanted.
11 turnovers.
I also think the defense with that small lineup that started that everyone talked about looked exactly like I thought it would.
They got
cooked.
glass. Yeah.
Devin Booker cooked them, and they gave up like 20 points in 5 minutes. So, it's all a mixed bag, and it's one game.
Sure. We can assign blame across the board. To me, Wiggins is about 7th on the list.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? Wiggins is like a California lottery scratcher. You buy one of those scratchers, and you scratch. You get your penny out.
He's a better chance than that.
No, but I want to know who's
he's
number
a scratcher.
Who would
he's
be
an
number
absolute
one?
flippin' scratcher, and you scratch him off, and you look, and it's like, ooh, I got my money back.
Exactly.
It was a $2 scratcher. I got $2 back. I'm going to bound back into 7-Eleven and let me get another scratcher.
Who's number one?
Clay.
Clay Thompson, dude, he stunk. And you know what?
No.
And you know what, Goo? Steph Curry, Splash Brother.
That both of them were bad. The whole team was bad.
How about the Gash Brother?
10 of 43,
dude.
Can I tell you what bothers me about Wiggins?
They were 14 of 42 from the floor.
Okay, and I got something
That's
for you.
33%. The two of them, and Clay in particular, offensive rebound, kick it out to Clay. One-legged shot, no good. Offensive rebound, kick it out to Clay. And he'll shoot again.
It was a +9 to Curry's -9.
Oh, my fault.
No,
Clay.
Go ahead.
I take it all back. Yeah. Clay, you were amazing.
Here's what bothers me about
Clay
Wiggins.
is hunting a contract.
Look at who competes with him. Wiggins, I'm talking about. So you got Kuminga.
Wiggins.
He's a young player for 2 years. How do I get on the court? How do I get on the court? You got to do this. It's figuring out how to get on the court. Kuminga, young player, fine. Klay Thompson, say what you want, and he wasn't good last night. He's going to be playing a lot more 4. All right, so he's changing. He's got to do something a little different. He's going to have to guard 4s. Draymond Green. Draymond Green goes into every game and figures out what he's got to do to play. Wiggins is the one, and even Moody has to figure out how to get. Wiggins is the one guy. It's just like, you know what you have to do. Like, just play your game.
Yeah.
You never have to go into a game and say, well, this day I got a rebound. This day I get, not like Wiggins, you're our 3. Go get us 18 on 7 of 13, get us 8 rebounds, and play your solid defense.
Like, for a long while to defend him.
He's got a defined role.
He's mastered that up until now.
No, he hasn't, Goo. Don't do this.
Last year was an anomaly, man. And I'm telling you, Willard, tell me, Dibs, if I'm going National Enquirer, I'm not. When you get married, in the vows, it says for better or worse. And for the front runners that know he was the second best player when they beat Boston, my spot should be solidified. So if I'm struggling, my head coach shouldn't have to go to a microphone after the game and says, because we got Chris Paul at 38 years old, the finishing lineup is up in flux. And I think, Willard, he might not be the mentally strongest dude. He's probably looking around like, that's how y'all gonna do me? I had a bad game. Didn't you trade my boy, the only one that had my back when everything was going on? So we don't know what Wiggins is feeling.
Well,
Wiggins is a veteran.
He's playing for a
Go out there and earn it.
Why Minnesota kick him to the curb?
No, I can't defend that, but I want to ask you 3 this. So is Klay Thompson, I'm asking, is he up for not being in the finishing lineup if he's playing bad?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think there are a lot of questions that have come up, and they're fair ones after what we've been through last year, Goo.
Steve Kerr today, 5 o'clock.
I can't wait.
But there are a lot of questions that have come up that are centered on ego.
That, man.
And now here's the thing, though, and I don't know that we're asking the right questions, because if that's clearly, and I know that our dramatic soap opera brains do this, but if that's the stuff that's going through their heads, I need to start, I need to finish, I did this 2 years ago, you owe me that, I've never come off the bench in my career. If individually that's where the Warriors' heads are at, this sucker is already so cooked. It is so cooked. This season's going to stink. They'd be lucky to be a top 7 seed. If that's where their brains are at, if Clay is like, my contract, and Wiggins is like, I won you a ring, and Clay is like, but about my statue and my contract. If that's where they're at, because I don't think they are there.
Okay.
But if they are, this season is over.
Okay, Mark.
You cannot play on a team concept that way.
Would Chris Paul be starting if you were the coach? I'm just asking.
No, but Draymond
so no would be my answer too.
Draymond was hurt, but I probably wouldn't have started him anyway. Maybe last night was out of respect, but my number one concern, and I said it directly to you guys at the summit, was that if you put that lineup out there that we saw, they're going to get cooked defensively, and they did. And then they came out and started the second half, and they got cooked defensively again, except for the Suns then went on a total cold streak.
They tried to give it away.
And the second half of the third quarter was their best run of basketball. But Devin Booker was licking his lips when they put that lineup out there. So the ego has got – that was the whole reason they made this move. They got to get ego out of the room, and I don't think it is.
All right.
But so if Wiggins – like Steve Kerr, what I took from that was not Andrew being owed this, that, or the other. He's looking at Andrew going, you don't look like you're giving your best effort tonight. Effort is controllable. That's why Andrew's so frustrating.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Steve Kerr, 5 o'clock. And the number for Dibs and Willard is 888-957-9570.
Okay. Before you go, though, you threw out a question that we will throw out to the callers as well, even though the answer is kind of funny. But you tossed it up. Purdy gets hurt, and you said, all right, what if Sam plays well? Do we have an issue?
I don't think we do.
Okay.
If it's a 1 week, plus they have a bye week after the Bengals.
Correct.
No. We do not have an issue if Sam Darnold plays a good game.
Okay.
Guru?
No, we don't. He's done too much good, I believe.
Dibs?
Of course.
Okay. Can I leave you with this? I know we're getting out of here. So
you can leave him with that. I'll leave him with what just happened.
To Steve Kerr asking him to come off the bench, do you believe if we got all cards on the table, do you think that would be the case?
That Paul's coming off the bench?
That he would acquiesce to that without...
He's not going to answer that.
But what do you think? Do you think think they want to deal with that, or they would?
I think Chris Paul is going to end up coming... A healthy roster, he'll end up coming off the bench more often than not. That's your partner left.
Yeah, I'm out too.
You want to go?
All right, Dibby.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, brother. Yeah.